anything exists. Philosophers. Crossbows. You're just a cheap freaking knockoff. Longbows. Oh no no no, I'm the upgrade. Historians in the past. Mythical creatures. More billion men armies. Source, because I said so. Shameless bias. Historians now. Source, actually dragons don't exist. More billion isn't even a number. This person clearly has an agenda. George Orwell. This is a book about the dangers of totalitarianism. Anyone and their dog. This is an anti-socialist book. We'll just leave those people up in the mountains. What's the worst that could happen? 800 years later. Rome summoning a new bigger army after losing 99.99% of its population for the 9th time in a year. What the Trojans see. What the Greeks see. King Conrad III, women of Weissenberg, you may leave unharmed with whatever you can carry on your shoulders. Women of Weissenberg. When you finally reach Moscow, after losing half of your men, only to find it abandoned and burned to a crisp by Russians. Near this spot Samuel Whitmore, then 80 years old, killed 3 British soldiers. April 19th, 1775. He was shot, bayoneted, beaten, and left for dead, but recovered and lived to be 98 years of age. Samuel Whitmore. Paris Peace Conference. Germany, the Great War wasn't even our fault. The Allied forces, I'm sorry, I don't speak second place. Me when my new electric washing machine finally arrives. It's the 1950s and this contraption is blowing my freaking mind. Napoleon is a good guy. Napoleon is a bad guy. Historians. The saddest book series in history. Be old lady. Lawyer wants house. Make deal. Free rent. Lawyer dies. Family of lawyer forced to pay rent. Live to 122. Oldest living person ever. Native American civilizations resisting European invasion through centuries of bloody warfare and desperate diplomacy. Also Native American civilizations, when they got a chance, to destroy their least favorite neighbors. Prussian citizens stealing from King Frederick's heavily guarded potato farms. King Frederick watching his plan to popularize potatoes amongst his subjects come to fruition. Now I picture 1799. How I picture 1801. Fellas, if your girl loves horses, loves camping with a tent, wants to travel all the world, run away, that's not your girl, that's a Mongol horse archer. What if World War II never happened? What if that one guy 12,000 years ago never invented farming? The Spartans going down in history as the greatest warriors of the ancient world for their legendary underdog performance at Thermopylae. The Spartans taking several military L's to greatly outnumbered forces throughout their history. Genghis Khan killing millions and slowing down the global warming 900 years ago. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. America after Denmark rejected their offer to buy Greenland in 1947 and were told to leave after World War II, they did not. When you mathematically prove the existence of black holes, and 100 years later scientists succeed to take the first ever direct picture of a black hole and it's exactly as you predicted, just like the simulations. POV, you are the first Egyptian to rule Egypt in 2,500 years. Wales. So where do I fit into the flag of Great Britain? That's the neat part, you don't. When you introduced Europe to corn and pumpkins and tomatoes and potatoes and chocolate and they introduce you to smallpox. This has been the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals, maybe ever. I finally found it, after 15 years. The Scroll of Truth. In antiquity, scrolls were rolled out sideways, not downwards. Nia. Spain after stealing half a continent of gold and still being broke. Narrow fiddle while Rome burned. Fiddle was never invented at that time. Italian filmmakers in the 60s learning about the American West. When you find out that the Emu War was really just 3 guys against 20,000 giant birds that were practically immune to bullets. How many other lies have I been told by the council? German pilot seeing 5 British planes approaching. Chuckles, I'm in danger. A red triplane appears. Chuckle, you're in danger. Napoleon after being exiled. It's a coffin. A coffin. Let me out. I'm not dead. When you went bankrupt, declared insane and ultimately died building your extravagant castles in Bavarian mountains, and years later their beauty attracts tourists from all over and inspired Disney's Sleeping Beauty castle. They called me a madman. North Sea Germanic. Norman French. English. What the hell is this? White men can't understand what it's like to be under attack. Me before Franco-British Union sounds amazing. Me now, like that's ever gonna happen. Moors, we left those people up the mountains. They'll probably die. What's the worst that could happen? Those people up the mountains not too long later perish. The Byzantines using Greek fire to protect their empire. The Arab fleets seeing the Byzantines use Greek fire. Me going to see memes about Egypt, my country. The Library of Alexander. Aliens made the pyramids. Ancient Egyptians when they have some of the most confusing mythology I've ever read. Why is it when something happens, it's always you three? Mao Zedong. Offer the US Secretary of State something normal despite being a poor nation to help relations. Mao offered Kissinger 10 million Chinese women. USSR. Fine. Behold how happy we look as a couple in this photo. Eastern Bloc countries. When the Corsican guy who literally destroyed our country is mentioned as a hero in the Polish anthem. When King Solomon saw a beautiful and sexy girl in his kingdom. Add to cart. Bronze. You're just a cheap freaking knockoff. Iron. Oh no, I'm the upgrade. The first Neanderthal to use a stone to kill another person and not using their fist. What you're seeing is advanced warfare. 18 years old boys entering the battlefield during World War I. This ride only stops in an emergency. Crying is not an emergency. UK, France and Russia. We'll make Greece an autonomous region under Ottomans. Also UK and France. Actually, maybe we'll make Greece fully independent. Also Russia. What the F is this crap? Luxembourg sending 44 troops to fight in the Korean War. I'm doing my part. History teacher. Okay, we are going to study the 18th century. European students. How exciting. Indian students. Confused screaming. 240p. 1080p. Bonnie and Clyde after meeting the Texas Rangers. An ancient man drew a PP on the wall, and this is a historically important mark. Example of an ancient culture. I do the same and this is vandalism. That doesn't seem fair. Nitrogen fertilizer. Irish farmers. IRA. Alexander the Great. This is Alexandria. Everyone. Alex, this is the 7th city you've named Alexandria this week. Great War countries adopting camo. France. Tyrians when a Macedonian dude starts throwing dirt to the sea. Tyrians when the same Macedonian dude, 7 months later, is still throwing dirt to the sea. Scientists in Victorian era London. The Thames River is fine. The miasma theory says that disease is caused by foul odor. Victorian era ends. Jon Snow. What if we drink water, but without the fesses? When you have to conquer Mongolia, but the cat needs a walk first. I'm not cheap, I'm generous. You almost went to war with Ohio over Toledo. The HRE was neither holy, nor Roman, nor an empire. Stephen forgets he isn't on the internet. Julius Caesar wasn't the best Roman general. Change my mind. Plague is raging in Europe. Newton. Haha colors. US politicians during the Cold War. Somebody disagreeing with them. Is this communism? Napoleon's marshals under Napoleon. Napoleon's marshals when Napoleon isn't around. European aristocrats when they hear you can eat tomatoes without getting lead poisoning. I'm sorry, is this some sort of peasant joke that I'm too rich to understand? When your job consists on protect the life of the emperor, but somehow you end up being the cause of death of the 25% of the emperors. Praetorian Guard. Nobody. Victorian era cities. I'm going to create an environment that is so toxic. The last Tsars of Russia. Nikolai II, Little Nicky Romanov. Alexander III Romanov. Cats don't say meow in China. They say Mao. I have a problem. I have two problems. I have many problems. Brutus Brutus. Yes papa. Planning to kill me? No papa. Telling lies? No papa. Open toga. Ha ha ha. Other countries having tactics to take out tanks. Japan. I got a landmine on a stick. The greatest human ATMs of all time. When you live in a place which is affected by huge tsunamis every 300 to 400 years and the last one was over 300 years ago, and illusions. When my girlfriend asks me to stop referencing history at our romantic meal. You afraid to get wet? Pacific Islanders meeting Europeans for the first time. Japanese meeting Europeans for the first time. So you have chosen death. When you see a 40-year-old woman in late 1600s Massachusetts and she owns land, she's a witch. My family, heaven gained a new angel today, me fighting my way through hell to teach Thomas Edison a lesson about stealing other people's crap. The Second Balkan War in a nutshell. Saying man first flew in 1903. Knowing two French brothers did it in 1783. I'm gonna declare war on you. No, I'm gonna declare war on you. Are we at war right now? Probably. People nowadays. The Dutch after the Protestant Reformation. Wearing just black. Thank you for watching this video. Tune in at 5 PM British time for a video of changing topic. And at 7 PM for daily juicy memes. Check out my Discord server using the link in the description. Also be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you didn't already.